I think it's safe to say that at some point in our lives, in our shul experience, we have been faced with the following dilemma. One of two possible dilemmas. I'm davening Shemonah Esrei, and I hear the minyan, the Shliach Tzibor, starting Chazaras Hashatz, and he's about to get up to Kedusha. And I know that I'm supposed to answer Kedusha, but I'm davening Shemonah Esrei, so what am I supposed to do? Or perhaps I'm davening Shemonah Esrei, and I hear the Chazan saying Kaddish, and I'm supposed to answer Yehei Shmei Rabbah, but I'm in the middle of Shemonah Esrei, so what am I supposed to do? So the Shulchan Aruch tells us clearly, this is what we're supposed to do. Kishe'omed Adam b'Shemona Esrei, when a person is davening Shemonah Esrei, Eino posek, they don't stop, they don't interrupt their Shemonah Esrei, lo lekaddish v'lo lekdusha, not for Kaddish and not for Kedusha. Ella, rather, shosek, they're quiet. Umechavein, and they pay attention, they focus, l'masha omar shliach tzibur, to what the shliach tzibur is saying, either Kaddish or Kedusha, v'harehu ke'oneh. And guess what? It's as if I still am Shemonah Esrei, and at the same time, it's as if I answer Kedusha or I answer Kaddish. So how exactly does that work? How can I be fulfilling both? So either, if we say that focusing on something is not, as making an interruption is not as if I'm actually speaking, then why do I have to be quiet, as the Shulchan Aruch says in Shemonah Esrei? And if we say that here we're focusing on something is like actually saying something, and that's why I am fulfilling the mitzvah of answering Kedusha or Kaddish, so then why am I not violating or creating an Aveira in the fact that I am causing a disturbance, an interruption in my Shemonah Esrei? How does this make sense? So the Magid Medrash Zecher Tzadik Livracha explains as follows. He says there's a rule. When it comes to a machshava tova, when it comes to a positive thought, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem is mitzaref l'maisa. When a person has a positive thought to do something positive, to do something good, to do a mitzvah, Hashem applies it as if the person did it, even though they may have not come to fruition. And therefore, in order for the person to feel as if they are Yotzei, they fulfilled Kedusha, then just being quiet and thinking, focusing, it works. It's like speaking. Fulfilled it. But when it comes to a machshava ra, but when it comes to a bad thought, then Hashem is not mitzaref et l'maisa. If I had intended to do something bad, but I didn't do it, it was only a thought in my mind, Hashem gives us a little bit of a free ride. So the Aveira of interrupting, causing an interruption in my Shemonah Esrei, well, that's a machshava ra. That would be bad. So Hashem does not consider it as if we did that. And that's how the Magid Medrash explains the logic of the Shulchan Aruch. And that's how we're able to do two things at once. Daven Shemonah Esrei, and at the same time, be Yotzei, fulfill the obligation of answering Kedusha or answering Kaddish, even though our mouths never open. While at the same time not violating and making an interruption in the Shemonah Esrei. So what do we learn from here? I think this Shabbos is very pertinent. Because this Shabbos, we bench Rosh Chodesh Elul, we welcome Elul. We bring Elul into our lives. It's hard to believe Elul is here. We begin next week to get into that Yamim Noraim period. We start hearing the shofar, we start preparing, and Elul stands for Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li. I am to my beloved as my beloved is to me. We reconnect with Hashem, both communally and more so individually. Our own personal relationship with Hashem. And look what we see. We see from here in our parsha, the bracha. Hashem is giving us the bracha to listen. Listening to Shemonah Esrei, listening to Kedusha. Hashem says, just if you listen and you focus, it's good. And we see how much Hashem loves us. We see how much Hashem wants us to connect with Him, to become closer with Him. We see that just by listening, look what we are able, listening and focusing, look what we were able to accomplish. That perhaps many times throughout this year we thought to do something that wasn't so positive. And Hashem says, I love you so much, I'll let it go. Perhaps over the course of this year we thought to do something positive, but we never got to do it. Hashem says, I love you so much. I love your focus. I love your intent. It's as if you did it. And that within itself is a spark for us to become closer and closer to Hashem when we see how proud and how much love He has for us. So as we welcome Elul, let us all be zocheh to build more and more, create more and more merits for ourselves, for those we love, for the Jewish people, and in doing so, we'll be zocheh in a month and change time to a ksiv v'chasima tova, to a healthy and spiritually enlightening year of growth in Torah and in mitzvos. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.